Told you, I was like, actually, let's just get married like right after we graduate. And you're like, oh, how long do you need to plan a wedding? There's lots of lies.
Yeah,
He told lots of lies to me. So our ceremony is videoed. There's just zero audio.
We have a recording of our wedding without sound. Say hello.
Hello.
Hey guys, we're gonna film a video soon. We're gonna get set up in the basement and do it this week.
Basement, there's spiders down there.
No, we'll turn the lights on first, it'll be fine. We, tonight, are gonna finish the story of how we met from our engagement to our wedding. What did we do today?
London napped. 2 long naps. So I'm feeling good.
Feeling good. Okay. Let's talk.
Okay.
Ooh. Today was a good day.
Today was a good day.
Depending on how I edit this, we may or may not show you a point of view footage of me cooking dinner.
Nathan put the tripod around his neck.
Tonight we've got some cauliflower and broccoli. I'm just gonna take this compost out. Chicken on the grill. Should be good. Get the buns off the grill. Chips, chicken, buns, mayonnaise, pickles, veggies, plates. Should be everything.
Sure.
Is she eating?
No. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. Peek. Aboo. A peekaboo.
I think that this video is going to be a little bit more eloquent than the other ones.
Yeah.
Because the story we've actually told before from this point on, like our meeting and breaking up story, we never really talked about that much.
Yeah.
But we're starting with our engagement through to getting married. I feel like that's much more fresh in our minds. Hopefully this story makes a lot more sense than the other ones.
Do the other ones not? I haven't really.
I think they're okay, but
they're just kind of boring, probably.
yeah, they're probably kind of boring. So hopefully this one's a little more interesting. So we came in senior year feeling pretty good. Everything was going well in our lives.
Knowing that we wanted to get married.
Right. We talked about it. I think over the summer we probably had started looking at engagement rings together and that kind of stuff. So near the beginning of October, I finally picked out an engagement ring.
I remember that I'd always, like, growing up, wanted a fall wedding. But then we got to, like, this point, at least I got to this point where I was like, fall is way too far away. Like, this, it's like an entire year away. Like, that's too far. So then I, like, said that to Nathan, because, like, in your mind, I think you knew that I wanted a fall wedding.
Yeah.
So you were kind of like, oh, I have a lot of time before I need to propose to her.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that? And then
yeah.
I told you, I was like, actually, let's just get married like right after we graduate. And you're like, oh, how long do you need to plan a wedding? And I'm like, I don't know, 8 months? He's like,
So...
he, like, counts in his head. He's like, so I have to propose, like, next month.
Laura's like, I guess so. So bought a ring, I guess before that, beginning of October, I decided I'm going to propose, so I need to talk to Laura's dad about it. So I called Laura's dad. It wasn't really that awkward. We had talked enough and it was fine.
Okay, let's just take a pause right there and make a correction. This was not nearly as simple as my videoed person is making it seem. I'm editing this now and I feel like I need to make a correction for the record. I was terrified to make this call. I paced around in my basement for like 10 minutes with my phone. And I was like, okay, I gotta do it tonight. Like, I don't have that much time left. So I finally make the call. He answers. Laura's dad answers. We talk for a minute. He decides, we should go out to lunch and talk. So we go out for lunch. We're talking engineering stuff for a little while because we're both engineers. And then maybe about 20 minutes in, he's like, so Nathan, why are we really here? I'm like, okay, so the real reason we're here is because I want your permission to marry Laura. He's like, yeah, I thought so. So then at that point, the conversation got pretty real. He asked me a bunch of questions. I must have answered them pretty well because we're here today. But it was nerve-wracking. Nerve-wracking experience, I think, for anyone. I just feel like I needed to make that correction to what I said in this video because it's not an easy, whatever process.
And then from one of my friends, I heard about this jewelry shop called Kessler's in Grand Rapids. So I went there one day, and the very first ring I looked at was just the perfect one. So he tried to sell me some other ones, and after a couple times that I picked the first one over and over again, he's like, maybe we should just go with it. I'm like, maybe we should. So I needed to go pick up the ring from Kessler's after it was finished and ready. But I needed to figure out an excuse to tell Laura where I was going to be on a Saturday morning.
There's lots of lies.
Yeah,
You told lots of lies to me.
I got kind of good at lying to Laura about this, but it was for a good reason.
Not the way you want to start a marriage.
So I was working on a cardboard canoe for an engineering event in college. So I told Laura that I had to work all morning on Saturday on my cardboard canoe so that I could sneak off and buy her an engagement ring. So I think it was a pretty good lie. Anyway, then I had the ring. I had the approval. So I had to get
a plan
together for the actual engagement. I thought of this place where Laura and her brother and I had gone hiking a couple years before, or a year or so beforehand. So on a Thursday night, I ran down there with my friend Eric, and we got there as the sun was setting. So we sprinted down a trail.
It's like in the woods, like dense woods.
Yeah, it's called Yankee Springs. It's like a hiking area, and there's dirt trails down out through the woods. So yeah, we walk in. It says park closes at dusk. It's literally dusk at the time. We're like, well, we got to find a spot tonight because tomorrow's Friday, and I don't have any time tomorrow. And Saturday morning, I want to propose.
And it's not like you could just run back later. Like it's a significant drive, like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not like you could just run there between classes or something like that.
Yeah. So we ran down the trails, found a good spot, got somewhat of a plan together, ran back out before it got too dark to see our way out. And then I invited Eric to be our secret photographer. He borrowed a camera and hid in a tree. We planned that out as well. And then Saturday morning came.
Yep. So
you want to tell this part?
Sure. So Nathan and I had planned to spend the day together and go hiking. Like you told me that. It's not like it was going to be a surprise. And so I was still sleeping when you got to my house. So he comes downstairs to my bedroom and wakes me up. And you had flowers.
Oh, I do remember that actually.
I feel like I totally should have known what was happening, but I didn't really. I was like, oh, flowers, that's so cute. And then you went upstairs and made breakfast while I got ready.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went thrift shopping.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why.
In the morning?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Go thrift shopping at like 8:30 a.m.
No, by this time I was like 10.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember. We went thrift shopping and we were at the Salvation Army and I actually saw a wedding dress. So Nathan, should I buy this wedding dress? And then we drove to Yankee Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And Nathan was super good at like not revealing to me that he had a plan, because like we had to go on the exact hike that he and Eric had planned out, but he didn't want me to think that he had something planned out.
Right.
So he's like, hey, like, where should we hike? Because there's tons of different trails and they're not all close together.
Well, you picked Yankee Springs too, like the whole idea. I was like, hey, we should go hiking or something. Do you know where we should go?
Oh, really?
But like the day before that, I had pointed out, like said something about when Troy was here and we went to Yankee Springs, so I knew it would be the first thing on your mind.
Wow, you're so smart. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so you thought that you would pick Yankee Springs, and then you thought that you would pick the right trail.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, well, why don't we just do the same trail that we did with Troy? Like, we know it, and we know, like, where we'll be going, because they don't always have maps there and stuff like that. So he made it seem like I picked it out. You're sneaky. Wow. Scary. Do you do this often?
Yes.
So we hiked for a while, and then we got to like this lake.
Mm-hmm. Hall Lake.
Yeah, it's very small. Not one you'd like go swimming in or anything.
No.
What's that sound? Do you hear that?
Mm-hmm. Do you want to go check it out?
No, what if someone's up there?
There's no one in our house.
Well, you know, Lyndon.
She's okay.
So we were just kind of like wandering around by this lake. Like it kind of had opened up a little bit. Like there were still trees, but you could wander off the trail easily.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the end of October, so the trees were super pretty. And then we were like crossing this wooden bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And Nathan just starts like stomping on it. I don't remember if I thought anything of it at the time.
Probably not.
He's always goofy, so I'm like, oh, he's just being goofy. But the reason he was stomping on the bridge was to let Eric know that we were coming, because he was like 100 feet away,
Yeah.
hiding behind a tree. So then there was like this clearing in like the brush around the lake, which is where we stood.
Mm-hmm. I had a little speech prepared.
I don't remember any of it.
I don't really remember a lot either, but I remember
you told me that you love my family and friends.
Yeah, I was gonna say I something about I loved Laura, and then meeting her family and friends made me sure that I wanted to spend my life with her.
Mm-hmm.
And things have only grown since then.
And so then he did his little speech, and then got down on one knee, opened the ring box, and then I said yes.
Cue engagement. What's they called?
Music?
When you have like a little montage.
Oh, montage.
I wanted to say collage. Cue engagement collage.
Good.
And then Eric came out from behind the tree, and there was a fantastic reaction of Laura saying, Eric! Of course
you're here. Because like the three of us used to do everything together. Yeah. And like, yeah, it was just like, of course he's here. Why wouldn't he be here?
And then in classic Eric fashion, he said, congratulations. Well, bye.
And then he left. He didn't even stay to talk. It was so funny. Yeah.
And he did get pictures as well, obviously, that you just saw.
Yeah. So then I was super giddy. We kept hiking.
We hiked. Yeah, I asked her, do you want to go back home or do you want to hike for a little while? And she said, let's keep hiking. So we hiked for maybe another half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah. But I was just like bouncing along. I was so excited.
Taking pictures. of her hands.
Stopping every 5 seconds to take a picture of my ring.
Yeah. That's us.
Yeah, we drove to my parents' house because they lived like 25 minutes from there. Which, did they know what was happening on Saturday?
I think so.
So then they were kind of expecting us.
So we walk in, they're like, "Woo!"
Hi, what are you doing here? My mom's like, what are you doing here? I was like, wow, Mom, you're real subtle. So we talked with them for a while. Did we FaceTime your parents?
Probably, yeah. I don't know.
I really don't remember.
I don't remember all the details, but we told everyone. Yawn.
Yawn.
I feel like there's not a whole lot to say about wedding planning. It's a lot of work and a lot of decisions, but it's fun. And we ended up having a lot of money from Laura's dad, which was really nice, and it made us not have to make nearly as many decisions because we just went with a place that did it all for us.
Yeah, because like you can go, like probably save money by getting a cheaper venue and then getting your food catered and renting like tables and chairs and plates and cups and all that, which would probably be cheaper, but it's so much more work. And so then we rented out like a
Country club.
Yeah. So worth it if you have the money to do it.
But if not, you can have a fantastic wedding too.
And you honestly could keep it like 5 times simpler than things that we did. And
if I didn't have the money, I would literally like have Qdoba cater my wedding.
I love Qdoba.
I've been to a lot of weddings, and the more expensive ones aren't any more fun.
And they're not really any more memorable either.
Right.
We just went to my friend's wedding.
The whole thing was in a park.
Yeah, it was at a park. And it was like so cute and so simple. Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah. Just rent out a pavilion for your reception. Who cares?
But
anyway.
That's just our opinion. Sidetrack. You don't have to take any of our advice.
I don't even know who we're talking to.
Who knows? All of our followers, duh.
Oh, right. Our followers. Kyle and Brandon. Well, let's jump to our wedding day then.
We got married on June 17. We had 5 bridesmaids and 5 groomsmen. So I had 2 friends from church / growing up, and then 3 of my college friends.
And I had 3 of my high school friends, and 1 friend from college, and 1 friend from church.
I couldn't remember. I forgot about TJ. Sorry, TJ. Yep. So Nathan and I were just talking about this, how the wedding day for the men is like so much simpler than it is for the girls. Like my bridesmaids got to my parents' house, which is where we got ready and spent the whole morning. Got there, I'm pretty sure at like 7 a.m.
Pretty sure it was 7.
And then, yeah, by like 7:45, like we were getting our hair and makeup done and whatever. We eat little like bagels and drink mimosas and take pictures and listen to music. And Nathan's groomsmen were at a hotel playing video games until noon.
Yeah, so I didn't have to be at Laura's house until 1, I think.
For the first look.
The first look, and then everyone else was supposed to be there at 2. So I go to the hotel where my friends are staying at noon, and they're like waking up and coming downstairs and in sweatpants and stuff, and Laura's friends have been getting ready for 5 hours at that point.
We had our first look at my parents' house.
Do
you remember your reaction?
I don't feel like it was that exciting. Was it?
Well, do you remember like what you were feeling? I mean,
no.
Lame. You didn't think I was beautiful? Was
Of course
I ugly?
I did. You looked amazing.
First look at my parents' house, and then we went to a park to take pictures. So with all of the whole bridal party together, and me and Nathan separately, and the girls separately, and the boys separately. Yeah, so we did all of that before the ceremony. It was like on the verge of raining most of the day. It was
held off.
So hot and humid.
It was like 85 degrees and 85% humidity.
It was horrible. It was so sticky. Then we went to the church
Mm-hmm.
and got married. Nice. Yep.
It was fun. I really enjoyed our ceremony. We had some worship led by my high school youth pastor. We had our pastor, obviously, that performed the ceremony. We had both of my brothers pray over us as a couple. We had a sound tech from the church lined up to do our ceremony, and they asked, do you want it videoed? And we're like, oh, yeah, if it's easy, we'll go ahead and have it videoed. But we weren't planning on having it videoed until they asked. And then after the ceremony was over, and it was a couple weeks later, we got the video, and they realized that they never turned on the microphone input to the camera.
So our ceremony is videoed. There's just zero audio.
We have a recording of our wedding without sound.
And then the reception. Yeah.
It was good.
Food.
Fantastic food.
And then for dessert.
Donuts. My favorite food.
My favorite food. So it's like, I don't know, leading up to the wedding, I was just finalizing details. I'm like, okay, Nathan, like, we're gonna have to thank our guests for coming, like, at the beginning of the reception. I was like, can you do that? And he's like, yeah, I can do that. And I'm like, okay, so that'll be like at the beginning of the reception. He's like, okay, sounds good.
You're making it seem a little more like you prepared me for it.
I think I did it. That's exactly what I said to you. And so
Okay,
then
keep telling your story.
we get to the reception and we're like standing at the head table, and I have the mic, or someone goes to hand Nathan the microphone, and he's like, what? I'm like, give me the microphone. Fine, I'll do it. So I had zero prepared.
I had zero prepared too. So.
Anyway, so I was like, seriously? And then I get done like thanking the guests, and then he looks at me, he's like, oh.
It's like, oh, that's what we were supposed to do? I could have done that.
You done.
I just didn't know what we were talking about in the moment.
Then we danced. Everyone kept telling me to leave my own reception. Aren't you tired? Don't you want to go? Like, no, I really don't. Stop asking me.
Yeah. It was a fun day.
Long, exhausting, but fun.
Very fun.
Mm-hmm. And then our life began.
We lived happily ever after. I think that's going to be it for this video. I don't know what we're going to do next week, so we'll have to think of an idea between now and then.
We went to San Diego for our honeymoon, which was fun.
It was. Maybe we'll talk about San Diego next week.
Maybe. All right.
Bye.
Well, bye.